Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and Tony here with my review of Puccini's Turandot with once again conductor Jordan de Souza, which I saw at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. This marks the 5th time I saw Lorenzo Fiorane's production of Puccini's Turandot at the Deutsche Oper Berlin because I wanted to see, hear, and witness Maria Motolygina perform the role of Liu. I saw and generally witnessed her 2 years ago perform the role of Amelia Grimaldi, aka Maria Boccanegra, from Verdi's Simone Boccanegra at the very same opera house. And I thought that her performance in that role was absolutely fantastic. Here as Liu, she definitely grew in a lot more musicianship as well as a whole lot of theatrical and vocal prowess. What I've always cherished about Maria Motolygina is her sizable, absolutely gorgeous, clean, focused, and wonderfully present Spinto soprano voice that also has a little bit of a full lyric edge to it, and that also combines a fair bit of silver, gold, and a whole lot of ocean-like sounds pouring right out of her mouth. There is a lot of focus to be found with Maria Motolygina's voice to the point where her liu is quite comparable to the likes of Licia Albanese, Mafalda Favero, Rosetta Pampanini, Renata Tebaldi, Rosanna Carteri, and Maria Chiara, just to name a few of the lius who I believe are sort of inspirations for Maria Motolygina's interpretation of this very role. And what she was able to offer was not only astounding musicianship, but also a great deal of fine technique as well as a whole lot of confidence, aplomb, and great performing endurance. There was not one vocal flaw that I spotted with Maria Motolygina as Liu. I've loved the growth as well as the acceleration that she managed to stick with throughout her career, and she has been going from strength to strength with every role that she has been tackling thus far. I cannot wait to see her in a lot more challenging roles such as Elisabetta de Valois from Verdi's Don Carlo, as well as the title role of Verdi's Aida. These are roles that I argue are wonderful for Maria Motolygina's vocal assets. Her ocean-like sound, as well as her coordinated chest tones and her overall flair for drama and musicianship, definitely made her an absolutely charismatic and brilliant performer. So brava to Maria Motolygina for a job outstandingly done as Liu, and I do hope to see her in a lot more leading lady roles because her voice is one of the most sterling I have ever listened to, and she did an astounding job as Liu, thus demonstrating heaps upon heaps of excellent performing prowess. Striking once again as Turandot was Sayoa Hernandez, and once again she was continuously demonstrating an outstanding technique, all thanks to her bel canto Italianate way of singing Turandot. The way she conquered those chest tones, high notes, middle notes, and everything in between made her a thoroughly credible singing actress. There is a lot to love about Sayoa Hernandez's Turandot, whether it's her mighty power in terms of projecting that voluminous voice all throughout the theater, or her flair for drama. She definitely had it all. I also argued when I talked about her Turandot a couple of videos ago that she was more on the Italianate side, i.e. almost akin to Maria Chabotari as well as Gina Cinia and Lucilla Udovic, but she's also quite comparable to the likes of Maria Yeritza and Lotte Lehmann in terms of having a more lyrical quality to Turandot. It's an absolutely absolutely present voice. It is voluminous in size, absolutely exciting. There's not one vocal fault that I spotted with Senora Hernandez, and she continues to win so awesomely in my eyes as this ice princess from China. So once again, brava to Senora Sayoa Hernandez for such a job, outstandingly done as Turandot, and here's also hoping that she continues to deliver a lot more outstanding performances, not only in this role, but also in some of her other great roles, such as Lady Macbeth and Abigail. Her mastery of bel canto singing, from legato singing to a lot of the high notes that she's launched, to that voice that has continuously grown in balance and voluminousness, as well as that crystalline timbre, which have defined Sayoa Hernandez's performance in this role, have made her thoroughly excellent all the way through. Jorge Puerta was a fine and dashing calaf. Yes, I do love that marbled quality in his voice. I do love the roundness and richness of it, especially when he was able to hit some really nice chest tones, and I loved how fearless he was in this role. Sure, he's not a high note flaunter like what you would expect from Franco Bonisoli, who I'll admit is a calaf I definitely enjoyed, even if he overdid those high C's in No Principessa Altera. And I could never ever forget the more sword-like, blade-like voices found in Giacomo Lorivolpi, Mario Filippeschi, and Franco Corelli, unless they forget about Francesco Merli. But Jorge Puerta's calaf is more lyrically oriented. Think a combination of Jussi Björling, Eugenio Fernandi, and Carlo Bergonzi as some of the more lyrical calafs, and even Bruno Prevedi. He may not be a spadavoce voice that you'd find in someone like Giacomo Laurivolpi, Mario Filippeschi, Franco Corelli, Franco Bonisoli, and Gianfranco Cecchelle, but Senor Puerta's fine voice and the way he was able to use that marbled, creamy, and round, rich, full lyric tenor voice to make it present as well as demonstrate a great deal of endurance was totally laudable. Sure, he's a lot more preferable in roles such as Rodolfo or Edgardo from La Boheme and Lucia de Lammermoor respectively, but he is a thoroughly committed singing actor. I definitely love the charisma that he was able to present, and I still salute him for what he was able to accomplish as calaf. Clemens Biba also struck again as a strongly sung and handsomely acted Emperor Altom. His sterling technique, which he was able to maintain for what felt like nearly 30 to 40 years, is in great evidence when he sang this minor part with ease, focus, clarity, and a whole lot of cleanliness. His voice sounded like it was still in its glorious prime when he embodied this role, and he was able to do such a credible and laudable job embodying this old emperor. So I also have to salute Herr Clemens Biba for such a pristine and excellent vocal characterization of Emperor Altom. Kang Yun Shine Lee's Bang was still as handsomely sung and beautifully focused as ever, all thanks to his trademark light lyric tenor voice. So was Thomas Chalufo as Bong, all thanks to his trademark light lyric tenor voice, which continues to glow, grow, and beautify itself with great bel canto singing. And I dare not forget about Olli Rantaseppe, who also sang The Prince of Persia, and even though his voice did kind of crack, I'll defend that little crack as if though it were a sign of desperation and his final moments of being executed off stage. So that was still a very laudable effort from him. And I also dare not forget about the equally fine singing of Gyumi Park and Alison Rosales as the two handmaidens, considering how their silky, smooth, and gorgeous voices blended so beautifully beautifully together. Gerard Ferreras was a vocally involving and theatrically engaging Emperor Timur. The way he was able to use his bass baritone voice to produce great moments of vocal acting made him thoroughly laudable and credible in this role. And yes, although there are bass voices that have a lot more core and a lot more deepness and darkness in their voices, such as Luciano Neroni, Giorgio Tozzi, Nikolai Gyaurov, and Bonaldo Giotti being my personal favorites, I still have to give a lot of credit to Gerard Ferreras for such a stirring vocal and theatrical portrayal of Emperor Timur, all thanks to his bass baritone voice, which managed to have a lot of colors at his disposal. And he was able to let out all those colors with such elan, abandon, and abundant dedication. Jared Wehrlein continues to demonstrate vocal focus, cleanliness, and clarity as the Mandarin, all thanks to his bass baritone voice that was smooth, rich, and even. And Mikhail Baghdad's vocal acting as Ping was still as laudable, engaging, and dashing as ever. So overall, the singing was still as excellent as ever, and this Valentine's Day was definitely made a lot more exceptional because of the awesome vocal performances accomplished by Sayoa Hernandez's totally nuanced, absolutely gorgeous, thoroughly clean, and amazingly technically secure Turandot, and Maria Motolygina's gorgeous, ocean-like, beautiful, and totally clear liu. These two ladies stole the show from everybody's feet, and they were able to make a very strong impression on their respective roles, and there was no doubt that they knew what they were doing as singing actresses, producing not only such beautiful tones, rich in technical prowess, and a great deal of emotional abandon, but also knowing how to embody their roles with a lot of beauty, grace, and a whole lot of nuance and dimension. I also have to give a lot of kudos to the men of the evening, whether it was Jorge Puerta's marbled and even-toned Calaf, Clemens Biba's stirring Emperor Altoum, Kang Yunshine Lee's handsome Pang, Thomas Chalufo's absolutely gorgeous Pong, Oli Rantasepe's emotionally charged Prince of Persia, Gerard Ferreras's really handsome and thoroughly charismatic Timur, and Mikhail Baghdad's continuously showing some fine vocal acting as Ping, and let's not forget about Gyumi Parks and Alison Rosales' really fine vocal chemistry as the two handmaidens. Everybody was a star, but the two major stars of tonight were without a doubt Sayo Hernandez and Maria Motolygina. The conducting done by Jordan D'Souza still as nuanced and engaging as ever. He really knew how to take control of the lusher moments as well as the moments that call for a lot of nuance and beauty, as well as some moments where he has to go all out, and he did so in such a balanced manner. So I also have to give him a lot of applause for what he was able to accomplish as a conductor, and he definitely led the orchestra and the chorus of the Deutsche Oper Berlin well, and what more can you expect from the chorus and the orchestra of the Deutsche Oper Berlin? Everybody was a star in their own right, and they all deserve A+s all around, with Maria Motolygina stealing the show as Liu, accompanied by Sayoa Hernandez's evergreen and ever exceptional Turandot. She was definitely on her way to be such an amazing shining star, and she continues to shine in her own special way, whether it's in the full lyric soprano repertoire or the Spinto soprano repertoire. Maria Motolygina shows no signs of stopping whatsoever, and her repertoire continues to grow with a lot of grace, power, beauty, exceptional theatrical and singing prowess, and a whole lot of musicianship, which have thoroughly defined Maria Motolygina as one of the finest lyrico spinto sopranos that I've ever heard today. And here's also hoping that she continues to grow her career a whole lot more, because there is a brilliant future for her. I'm sure that she will definitely conquer a lot more leading lady roles, and she is definitely on her way to conquer all of those roles written wonderfully for her voice. And for those of you who caught Puccini's Turandot at the Deutsche Oper Berlin, what'd you think of it? Did you feel that Maria Motolygina was at her vocally best as Liu? What was your most favorite moment with Maria Motolygina in this particular role? Did you also love her singing and believe that she is exceptional? Was there also a singer that you continued to like or particularly liked, whether it was Sayo Hernandez as Turandot or Jorge Puerta as Calaf, just to name a few? Or did you feel like the singing, especially from Maria Motolygina, was not really to your liking? Please let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for my review of Puccini's Turandot at the Deutsche Oper Berlin starring Maria Motolygina as Liu. Tune in next time for my review of Wagner's Der Fliegende Holländer, also at the Deutsche Oper Berlin starring Derek Welton as the Dutchman. So until then, happy Valentine's everybody!